Alright, so today is January 25th of 2023, and as you can see here, I've started back here in the aft cabin. This is the start of the head and the shower. I've come back here and I've come in here with a tape measure and innumerable times. I can't count how many times I've come in here and attempted to lay out this aft cabin and in the bathroom and stuff here, and I just cannot come up with a really good way of doing this. I mean, getting everything in here that I wanted. So what we've got here, of course, is a framework around this would be the shower framework, and you'll just walk in from the cabin. Since it's a private cabin, I don't really think this needs to enter into the actual head compartment itself, which will be over here. The toilet will sit along the wall there and face there, and we'll have a sink over there. And I think maybe I'll put my little washing machine over in that corner. So, some of the criteria here that we have to meet. One, we have to support this area up here. Right here is where the mast is going to be on the deck. So we need some good reinforcement in here. So that's what these walls will do. I've got plywood to go on the inside too. So this will be 2x4s and 2 layers of 1/2-inch plywood, and that, it's almost making like big I-beams, narrow but big I-beams out of these. So there should be a great plenty of support. This 2x6 up here is just laying up there. It's not a part of anything. And so what I may or may not do here, I don't know. I could take some more beam sections and put them in here, a couple more beam sections right under where the mast lays. I don't know if I've got enough ends that would match up here that would fit there. If I do, that might be the way to do it. Just put a couple more of those underneath here, and that would give the, for like an 8 or 10-inch mast sitting on here, should give it even more support, because that weight would all be coming down on these walls then. And I will have to probably do a little bit of work underneath there. I'll have to look at that and see how those land and everything, but I'll probably have to put a couple supports up underneath the base of this, going down to the keel, or at least to the floor timbers. Either way. But anyway, so this has to support the deck up here, which this is going to do quite well, I think. Now we got to get water into here, and I think the stairs coming down, the companionway stairs coming down to this aft cabin will come down here. So I think I can put my water control valve and stuff back over here. The one I'm looking at purchasing could go over here, and then the shower bar, it's an adjustable one, but with a loose or independent head. So that could go here, kind of in the center. And I need to get access to my stuffing box, which is right about down here. Yeah, right in there. So I'm thinking I should cut a access hatch into the floor here. Then the drain needs to be a little more on the back side of this, because it needs to fall in this area here, in this compartment here, between these two sets of frames here. So the drain will have to come down and drain into here, and then cutting a hatch, and then of course it has to taper down to that drain point too. So that makes it a little bit challenging. Yeah. And that if I want to cut an access hatch in here, that needs to be more or less watertight too. But those were the only ways I could come up with of doing this and getting everything that I wanted in here. I wanted a decent sized shower in here. I didn't want some cramped little, wet head type of deal where you're, a real shower. Don't need a bathtub. Don't really particularly care for baths. Don't have one now. Haven't had one for 40 years. So Don't need a bathtub, don't want a bathtub. But a nice size shower. Yeah, and that should give me that. Unfortunately, the way I'm designing this now, the reason I want to put the shower on this wall as opposed to that wall, or even that one, but is I can put the control valve has to go through the wall, and I can put that coming out over here, and it'll be out of the way because it'll be under the stairs coming down here. And still have access to the plumbing and whatnot, because the plumbing can just drop straight down. Now, it probably would have been better elsewhere for the plumbing wise, rather than having the plumbing come up here, but yeah, it doesn't really matter. And I'm thinking I'll just put a shower curtain up here, as opposed to a door on here. Shower curtains are just typically much easier to build, and not much to go wrong there. But I put this 2x4 standing upright here, and once I get the inside plywood in here, this whole thing will be fiberglassed and probably painted with like a topside marine paint or something. That would be my guess anyway. And then I said over here is going to be the rest of the bathroom area, the head itself, a sink over here, and the washing machine. So that should all work. Still give us enough room to get at the companionway stairs going up here. A bunk over here, which will probably have to taper just a little bit. Maybe not. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, you're not going to be able to crawl right into the bunk. You'd have to get into the bunk here, and so that's not real handy, but it's not bad either. I mean, it's still going to give you, 3 feet to get into the bunk here, or a good 3 feet, probably 3.5 feet. Almost half the bunk's length. And then, like I said, my desk up here, maybe a chair here, a comfy chair here, and the other bunk over here. This will be my bunk back here. The bigger bed will go on this side. There should be plenty of room for it. Now, I need to get a bulkhead up across here, of course, for this, for the wall. And I kind of debated whether I even needed that or not, but I think I've seen people do heads without, enclosing them, but I don't know. And I might just wind up putting a curtain across here too, because you're going to have to step over or around this. And I'm not going to cut that down. I'm not going to weaken the boat just because there's a little bit of a toe stubber there. But there will be plenty of room in here. This is almost 4 feet by, I don't know what this is going to be, close to 5 feet in this direction. If you're counting all this space here, that's hardly usable. But when the sink goes in here, I'll have to work out, I don't know. When I get the planking on the bottom here, of course, that's going to interfere with trying to put a floor in here. Can probably get a little more in, but yeah, we'll just have to see how that goes. That'll bring the sink out farther and maybe put some shelves up, first, and then this countertop and sink. Because if I have my washing machine over here, the reason for putting the washing machine here, well, one, we got the room for it, and the other one is we'll have plumbing over here too, so it'll be relatively easy to do all that at the same time. Just run the drain from the washing machine, tee off the line that drains the sink, and it will drain at the same place. And the toilet will sit quite effectively right in there. Yeah, so that should all work. What I need to decide now is what to do about this bulkhead here. I was planning on running this bulkhead over this way, and of course, I don't think I'll put anything right here. I might cap this, but I don't think I'll put anything. Yeah, I don't know if I should maybe put I don't know. I don't think it's going to make much difference either way. I could square this off over to the bulkhead and then run it down. I think it would be adequately reinforced. the way it is, providing everything lines up. It's kind of what I was hoping for, but that's not necessarily what's always going to happen, is running, like extending this piece of plywood here out, you know, and then it would be on this side. Run along here, of course, I'd have to put a nailer or a cleat or something if I do that. Where if I put it on this side, if I put it on this side, put the bulkhead on this side and run it down, then I could run on the inside of this piece and over. Since we're not going to actually make it all the way over here anyway, that really wouldn't matter, would it? Yeah, maybe that's what we'll do. I don't know. I'm going to start measuring things up for that and see what I think. Anyway, that's a little update on what I've got going here. Oh, I was going to show you something else too. You know, when I need lights, like back here, got a couple lights running. Got a little power inverter here, and it's just handy to have a little power. Sometimes you're working on the electrical system, whatnot, and be able to plug some lights in. So I've got this little 400 watt inverter that's a 24 volt. In here is one of many battery packs I've made over the years, and this one uses 18650 cells. What does it say here? 28 amp hours. Yeah. This is a 7 in series, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, there's seven rows by 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 batteries in parallel, and then 7 in series. And these are recycled 18650 cells, like from old laptops and stuff. Took them all out, cycled them a couple times, and then, you know, I've got a tester that runs these 186. In fact, I got 4 of them, because I did hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of these. And I'd cycle the batteries a couple times and do capacity tests and make sure that they were all of similar. Anyway, so I'd label each cell with its capacity averaged out over several cycles, and then I'd put all those in a pack together. And these are actually fused with a real small wire that melts at about, or that fuse wire burns at, you know, about 3 or 4 amps. So yeah, I got a bunch of these. Most of them use 18650s, some of them use others, but it is handy to have battery packs like this available. But I don't think I would do it again. In fact, I might not take the chance of taking these on the boat with me. I'm thinking I'll go all lithium iron phosphate for the boat, so if I want any portable packs, I'll probably do lithium iron phosphate on the portable packs too. But yeah, these weren't too bad going in. Of course, again, everything's not quite, you know, square, but this area here is about as square as you're going to get on a boat, because it's in the middle, and the, you know, the yeah. Now these up here, of course, aren't completely square because the deck flows a little bit here. It gets a little taller as it goes back, but so those had to be cut at a little bit of an angle. But yeah, you can see the whole purpose of things here is to support these, and it's, you can just feel what a difference it's made already. Yeah, and once you get another 1/2 inch layer of plywood on these, it's going to be massively strong. The rig, you know, this wouldn't be suitable on all boats, but the rig on these is intended to be run pretty loose. So there's not going to be a lot of down tension on the rig. It's not going to be real tight pulling the mast down onto the deck. So it shouldn't be that big of a deal. It shouldn't carry that much of a load, I guess is what I'm saying. Being a deck stepped mast, it's not going to be load like you'd have on a lot of these sailboats. It's not that big of a rig. Nor is it tensioned that tight, so this should work fine. This is really going to make it strong up here. Yeah, I'm pretty pleased with the way that's coming out. In fact, actually everything is in the boat's got a fair amount of support. I mean, I've got this bulkhead back here, so there's the transom, and then there's a bulkhead 4 feet in. Then there's, of course, the bulkhead for the engine room on one side, and then 8 feet forward is another bulkhead for the engine room. That's an inch bulkhead. Each of those is an inch. And then now we've got the deck beams supported here. And then up forward we got the forward cabins, you know, the berthing cabin and the head up forward. So there's a, you know, that's all supported there from the bulkheads. And then I think the middle in the saloon there, that's going to be 12 feet. That's the largest unsupported area. I think what I'll probably do there is I'm going to run a couple of posts up to the deck beams where I have my my enclosed island for the refrigerator and freezer. And I think I'll run a couple of posts up to the deck beams there for more support in the middle there. So there's going to be nothing more than about 6, 7, 8 feet that's not supported somewhere. So it should give us a lot of strength up there. All right, well, that's my update for today. Yeah, we'll see how this goes down the road.